Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your autograph hound, and today I'm going to share an autograph success story from many years ago, and this is kind of a bittersweet one because it's from someone who is no longer producing autographs because he has passed on, and that is the great Robin Williams. This is a cherished autograph, obviously, for not only the fact that he is no longer with us to sign any more autographs, but in the fact that it's Robin Williams. And this guy, oh wow, I know some people who were not happy with Robin Williams. They said he made some bad life choices. They're probably bitter that he committed suicide. They're wondering whether he's even going to heaven or not, which I hope he's in heaven. Really, I hope he is. I mean, someone who brings that much joy to the world, it'd be a shame if he didn't. Obviously, that's between him and God, but, you know. But Robin Williams was also for us a nanny, a genie, a doctor, a psychiatrist, a 10-year-old kid in a grown-up body. So many great movie memories I had with Robin Williams. And so that's one of the reasons this is personally means a lot to me. It says, "To Kevin, many thanks, Robin Williams." Now, in explaining how I got this is probably going to frustrate you all because we're now looking at this in hindsight. In fact, here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this camera back a little bit. And I'm just going to... doesn't really work. Well, I tried. But what hurts about this in hindsight, making this video, is that in terms of my advice on how you can get a celebrity's autograph, Robin Williams was actually incredibly easy to get. Most of the time, the system for getting an autograph is you write a letter and you get two envelopes, a big envelope and a smaller self-addressed stamped envelope. And you would include like a picture or something to sign. And you mail it off and you hope that you get something back. If you get something back, more than likely it is signed, but once in a while, as you will find out with other videos in the future, you would not get it signed back. Or sometimes you don't get back anything at all. And you just gotta have to eat the loss. That's part of the autograph collecting biz in the modern day world. Robin Williams was unique though in that he genuinely cared about his fans. And you didn't need to do any of this. All you had to do was send a letter. And so long as the letter was nice, you didn't even have to ask for an autograph. All you had to do was tell him you liked his work and mention what your favorite movies of his was. And he would take a photo of one of your favorite movies, most likely the one that you list first, and he would send you a signed photo. Now, if you did send a self-addressed stamped envelope, he would sometimes send you two photos signed. This was when I first started doing this. And one of the advice that I got early on from other autograph collectors is that, hey, if you are on a budget and you want to get started on collecting autographs, there are two actors that are very generous to their fans. You don't need to get the packaging material if you don't want to. Robin Williams and John Travolta, they are notorious for providing authentic autographs through the mail. All you have to do is write a polite letter. So I wrote a polite letter and I said my favorite movies of yours are 1 Hour Photo and Good Will Hunting. Now, in reality, there is one movie he did that I liked a lot better, but it's best not to mention. He's not around anymore, I guess. But it was best not to mention that movie, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And even though in retrospect, maybe I should have just said Good Will Hunting because that's the one that he won the Oscar for, and it's kind of cool to have the actor sign a movie or a photo from a performance that they won an Oscar for. 1 Hour Photo is probably the most... It's certainly one of the 3 times that Williams was most uncharacteristically not Robin Williams. and that was always fascinating to watch because one of Robin Williams' curses as a actor, and I think somewhere he knew this, is that he was too good at being Robin Williams. And so a lot of people hired him to be Robin Williams. And movies like One Hour Photo, we didn't get them very often because who wants to hire Robin Williams and then have him be Al Pacino or Robert De Niro? Like, we might pay him to imitate those actors, but we want to be Robin Williams. And so he got to play an actual character in 1 Hour Photo. So whenever I watch that movie, I am mesmerized by the performance, and I always forget, that's right, it's Robin Williams. And he's not being funny, and I don't care, and I barely notice. So, so I'm glad that I got this one signed, and I have so many autographs that I have to keep some of them in boxes. It's just the way things are, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I have to do it that way. This is one of the few that I keep out and on display. Now, you might be asking, what was the one movie that I liked better than those movies, that I thought was his key performance, that you couldn't ask him about? It's probably obvious if you're a big fan, because there's one role Robin Williams had that brought him nothing but grief, and that was as the Genie from Aladdin. That was such... to make a long story short, he did the Genie for scale as a thank you to Disney for helping get his career back on track, was like Good Morning Vietnam and stuff. But he did it on the condition that they not use his name in the publicity, and that his character not take up more than 25% of the advertising material. And Disney went back on both counts. They started using his name in the publicity material, and while his character appeared in 25% of most of the advertising, his character was much bigger than all the other characters, including the main star, which strongly suggested he was the main character. He was the main reason to see the movie, but he wasn't the main character. And that made him upset. And at some point, there started being ads with just the Genie in it. And for that reason, Robin Williams did not work for Disney again until they publicly apologized in 1997 because they wanted him to star in Jack, where Williams was quite shocked that they ended up doing that. And, another reason the Genie character brought him shame was because, he did the role for scale, which was like pretty much, that's nothing. And yet Aladdin made a ton of money. And people started going to him saying it was like his best role. And it's like, and he's like, oh, it's just my voice. And, it was more than just his voice. But for someone who studied at Juilliard, who had been nominated for a few Academy Awards, to find out that this cartoon was your highest achievement, that's got to get to a guy. But anyway, getting back. When Disney did publicly apologize because they wanted him to star in Jack, Williams was shocked and humbled. And he did not seem like an angry person. He was very happy, so he agreed to be in Jack. In fact, he was so appreciative of them apologizing, he even agreed to voice the Genie again for the direct-to-video sequel, Aladdin the King of Thieves. This time for considerably more money than scale. And Disney was, by the way, so happy to have him back that they scrapped all of Dan Casanella's recordings and a third of the animation that they'd already completed just to accommodate Robin Williams. But that role always bothered him. I think he always resented doing it, probably wished he never had done it, which is funny because he's going to live in immortality now because cartoon characters live forever with our kids. And I'll be showing my kids Aladdin. You're probably showing your kids Aladdin. And boy, what a great thing to be in an animated Disney movie. That's a bucket list thing I'd like to do, even if it's just like a minor character with 2 lines. I'd love to be in a Disney animated movie. But you couldn't bring up Aladdin. He would not sign any Genie photos. And just to let you know, they exist. And for that matter, when I helped kids write letters to Robin Williams at church, because when I got this, kids wanted a Robin Williams signed photo. So I helped them write the letters, and I told them where they could send them. And the kids come back, and they would have signed photos of his character from Robots, or Batty from Fern Gully. So he signed photos of his animated characters. But every time someone said, "Can I mention Aladdin?" I always said, "You know what? You're a kid, you can, but name a second movie just in case." No one ever got a signed Genie photo. They'd get one from Hook, they'd get one from Mrs. Doubtfire, they'd get one from Robots and Ferngully. I'm trying to think of how. I knew one kid who got a signed photo of Old Dogs, and one kid got one from Flubber. He had photos for all his movies, but not the Genie. And I think it was partly his resentment towards the character, because I highly doubt Disney would have denied him sending signed photos of the Genie out. I don't know. So this is bittersweet. If he was still alive, this would obviously be one of the easiest autographs you can get. But we can't get him anymore. Now, however, if you want to go on eBay, because he was very generous with the autographs, you can usually find them on eBay. Most of them will be personalized, though. If it's not personalized, I would question it a little bit, but if it's personalized, it's probably real. And they were very common. So, there's my Robin Williams success story. May he rest in peace. What about you? Did any of you autograph collectors ever get an autographed from Robin Williams? I'd like to know. And if you did get an autograph from Williams, which character or movie did he sign? Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, claim responsibly. Have a good one.